Hey guys, welcome back to Gamechefs. It has been an interesting week. Got back from PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, and with getting back from PAX Unplugged, it has been busy week. Store is just hopping. All of our online entities, our stores on Geek Market, on eBay, our store on our website, all big sales. I'm going to go over. A lot of you have asked. I want to go over PAX Unplugged and the swag. You asked to see what we got at PAX Unplugged, what the swag is. I'm going to show you some of the things I picked up. And again, you got to remember, there's a lot of things I do not pick up. There's a lot of things I do not buy. I just didn't have the room to bring them back. I like to travel on the train when I do East Coast conventions, and this one's no different. And still coming back, one huge duffel bag, one huge board game bag, one backpack, and one briefcase. Still coming back loaded for bear with luggage, and two of those are nothing but things that I brought back. So I'm going to go over a few of them with you, and I'm going to cover just some specific games. First of all, PAX Unplugged was awesome. All of the convention was set up well. PAX always does a great job with their conventions, and PAX Unplugged is no different. PAX Unplugged is, in my opinion, going to be the next premier convention. I think, you know, as far as board games, what they call the analog convention, this is the way to go. I think that you're going to see more and more happening at this convention. The money's behind it, definitely. The powers that be know how to run a convention. I think the convention site is awesome. I'm not sure, numbers-wise, without doing some more research, what they can actually do as far as housing. But Philadelphia is pretty big, so a lot of people at PAX that only go. They went for the first time. PAX last year was their first one. This was their second one. Dealers Hall was about twice the size. Some people are saying 3 times the size, but I'd say twice the size, maybe a little bit more. Gaming definitely opened up. Open gaming was packed at all times. Still space to get a game and get a game in, but it was packed. The tournaments were good. I would like to see more tournaments there. I think they could do more with tournaments. I think the company panels are good. It's tough for me to do a panel unless it's something that I specifically am looking into or getting into. Only because being in the industry, I stay up on the news. I don't know everything. Believe me, there are people tell me things daily I had no clue about. But I'm still a little bit more up to date. So by the time somebody puts together a panel, I think I've really already got a handle on what's going on. So I usually do not go to the panels. But they were well attended. Lines went well. Friday was pretty open. Sunday was pretty open. Saturday was packed. There were lines, three entrances, lines outside the building. And some people were talking about the lines, but I'm telling you, that line was moving. If you look at our videos, we did about 4 videos at PAX from outside before we went in. If you look at those on our site, on our YouTube channel, visit us below, or as Adam would say, pachow, visit us below. You can see the line was just moving, so I don't think there was a problem there. So I'm going to update just a few companies, a few games here, and go over a couple things that I think were important. I'll show you a little bit of swag. Of course, if you go to PAX, everybody gets their lanyards. Not sure, actually, to be honest with you, why I picked these up, but I do want to give a mention. These were from Renegade Game Studios. Very nice lanyards. They give you nice, high-quality lanyards for your passes. And I do want to mention that they did that. I have my own holders with my press pass and that, so I hardly ever use them, but I do like to pick one up and at least mention in the video. To start off with, I wanted to go over Keyforge. Did a couple videos on Keyforge. While I was there, it was interesting. First day, Friday, went through the dealer's hall. 2 places I wanted to stop first. One was over at Fantasy Flight. Fantasy Flight was doing their demo tables. They did not have a booth there. Same as last year. They had their demo team, and they did not have a booth. Excuse me. Coffee time here. It's kind of an interesting approach. I think they're thinking that the stores can carry their product, save them some sales space. I think they lost out on that a little bit. I think they really should have a booth presence there, in my opinion. The demo teams did wonderful, demoing a lot of things. I did get a chance to stop by and look at the Game of Thrones Catan. Nobody had an expansion any place at the convention. About a week before PAX, the expansion for that game was released. You could not find it anywhere. But I will say that if you did stop by the booth, you could get the Game of Thrones Catan update, for their promo cards. And besides the Game of Thrones promo cards, they had some character cards. I would show you the character cards, but when I got back, I had someone message me, ask me if they had them. I put them out in the store for them so they could grab them. They could send me the shipping money and grab them. But if you pick up Game Trade magazine, they're also in Game Trade magazine. And the promo cards are extremely popular. Looking for my Game Trade magazine here. This month of Game Trade magazine has the cards. So if that helps, if you can find that at your local dealer, it does have the cards, and your local store should have these in stock. You could pick these up. They were pretty much forcibly pushing these out to people at the convention. They had a huge end cap booth, and you could pick up a Game Trade. They did not mind if you picked up multiple copies to take home to your club, take home to your friends. Definitely a good magazine. I currently signed up with the distributor. I have not done anything with them. I have not got back to Lisa yet. I haven't done a thing. We have just been too busy. But you can, if you get this copy, you can get those copies of the Game of Thrones Catan. And that was a nice piece of giveaway to that. But with the Keyforge, getting back to Keyforge, I know I digressed there. Keyforge was hardly available on Friday at the convention. We did find some boxes at Cool Stuff. I spoke with them, picked up a couple of the 12 count boosters. In the meantime, I was in contact with Ian from back home, and my son said that there wasn't a deck of Keyforge to find in the Toledo area, and the Toledo area has like 6 to 8 stores, and nobody had any Keyforge. And it was interesting when I talked to the people at Cool Stuff. I said, well, I'll just go ahead and take 2 boxes so I can bring them back. I grabbed 2 boxes of the Keyforge from him, and I said, do you have a lot? Because he didn't have many on the table, and he said that he had, besides when I bought the 2, he had 2 left on the table, 2 12 count boxes. He said that they have 1 case left, and that's it, and they'll be out. I did stop over at a couple of the resellers. Battleground did have some they were selling on Friday, some single packs, and one more vendor, and the name eludes me who that was, but one more vendor had Keyforge. In the meantime, walking back by the Fantasy Flight area, walking back by the Keyforge demo, and there was a huge line for the demo all week. The people kept asking, where can I get this? Where can I get this in the convention hall? And they said, somebody else should be selling it. By the end of Saturday, they were gone. Or by the end of Friday, they were gone. I did not see any Saturday. And I'll tell you how much in demand they were. I was at a tourney event with Dust Studios on Friday night, and I had people asking about Keyforge. So out of the 24, the 2 12s I bought, I sold 12 of those off Friday night just in the minis area because people could not find it. A quick update on Keyforge. Too many other people covering Keyforge, too many Magic the Gathering channels covering a lot of aspects of Keyforge. What I will say is that if you buy a deck, buy it from a reputable dealer. Be careful if you're buying online, buying the decks online. And I will tell you why. This is something that's happening. They should have really thought about this when they did it. But this is something happening. If you're not buying a sealed 12 count booster, and even though that could be sealed, to be honest with you, most retailers, I would assume, have a shrink wrap machine in the back. So, but what they're doing is they're taking these decks and they're taking an X-Acto knife and they're running it along the bottom, and you can actually just take your nail and flip that open. See? That flips open real good, and you can open this up, take the pack out, and boom, you can see exactly what is in the deck, because the card on the bottom of the deck, not the top, the card on the bottom of the deck shows what's in there. So if you're looking for that Four Horsemen deck or something specific, or this isn't the factions, the different factions you want to play, what they can do is, if they're trying to resell and look for those elusive Four Horsemen, they will slide that back in, fold this down, fold this. They're putting a line of glue along here and just resealing the pack back up. Slide it across the desk a little bit, let it dry, and stick it out for sale. That's it. Now, it's very, very important to know that not everybody is doing that, but it is so easy to do. And since people are chasing the Four Horsemen, this is what you're seeing is happening. So I'm going to tell you, be careful. When you open a deck of cards and the box, if you look right there, you can see like a little tear mark along here, this little tear mark. And what I would suggest, and you can see it better probably from on this side, when you open it, if you open it very, very carefully, and if you slide, X-Acto across here, when you buy the deck, if you see a tear mark and you know that you didn't tear that, okay, if you see this, then you know that deck's been opened. I know it sounds a little hard to do, hard to think about, but it is something to watch. I will guarantee you this, any decks I have for sale in our online store, and we do not have many left ourselves, I might have a dozen left. Any decks we have for sale, I can guarantee you that we do not open ours, okay? In fact, this is the first deck I opened, okay? I did register this deck, so I had one to play. This one is going in my nice little carry case that we carry from BCW. It's going in my carry case because we're having game day this week, and I'm taking Keyforge with me for a quick play. So be careful with your Keyforge decks. If you can, buy from your local game store. They're reputable, and you can chase that Four Horsemen yourself. That's an update on Keyforge. Second thing is 3D printing. We did invest in a 3D printer. The investment was minimal, and the fact that my wife used it also as sort of a Christmas present for me. So 3D printing is coming along. I know we did a quick video on 3D printing. And with the Keyforge, we are doing our own tokens, our old-fashioned looking keys, which are very, very nice. So we're going to do some painting of gold on these. And we've got 4 keys here. So 4 different types. And we're going to use those for our tokens for Keyforge. If you're interested in any of the keys or any of the tokens for Keyforge, message me, leave me a comment below, and I will get back to you. Those of you that follow me, you've got my email, you've got my text me, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. We've only got one printer, guys, so I can't print 1,000 in a day. But if you're looking for keys, just let me know, we'll see what we can do. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3D printing as I go, not the printer itself, but we're going to talk about the printing as we go because we've printed some stuff up to use. So to get back to PAX Unplugged and some of the other things, since we touched base on since we touched base on Game Trade Magazine, I want to let you know that Game Trade Magazine, inside the magazine, they also had the Aeon's End promo cards, and those are sealed for Aeon's End Legacy, War Eternal, Aeon's End. Those are really nice. Those are in there. So it's nice if you pick up the magazine, you'll be able to have some copies of those. They also had the Doctor Who Flux. So you had some Doctor Who Flux cards in there. For those of you who are Doctor Who fans and or Flux fans, you've got a promo card in there. The Koi game, very, very popular. We've had some inquiries on asking questions about the Koi game. Promo card, this year's promo card is in there. Cool. Cool. Frogs are worth 2 points when eaten today. So remember that when you're having lunch. Also, Munchkin collectible card game. Who could not forget that? I wish that they would change their print runs a little bit, but that game is really, really good. I would suggest that you look into it. It's a fun game. This is not a Magic. This is not a highly competitive environment with the rest of the world, but as a fun group game, it is really, really good. It's great to grab a handful of boosters, 3, 4, 5 boosters, how many guys are coming to your game night, toss the boosters out, let them open them, add to their current decks, and play a couple games before you get started. They do have the card in there. They have Ping, which is the Mischief and Treachery card. Definitely a fun card. Those were in the Game Trade magazine also. Last but not least, and yes, there's still more, Star Realms card. So you got the Seeker card, and the Seeker card is in there also. So definitely a good subscription to have. And of course, Game Trade always has some promos in and out of their magazine. So I highly recommend getting a subscription to GTM. I think you will enjoy that. I did have a time to walk by and talk to the guys at Pirates of the Caribbean. And we spoke with them. They were at PAX East. They will be at PAX East in 2019. We had a stack of their promo cards that they gave us to help push the game. And we've got some more promo cards in for PAX Unplugged for this year's promo, and which is Charisma. And if you're looking for those, let me know. But we do have the Charisma card in. And great game. I highly recommend looking that one up. Wizards of the Coast themselves were not there, but they did send their people. They had plenty of demos going on. They had their demo teams. They were giving out the free decks, of course, the free starters. So if you're there, you could walk up, get a free deck. So if you got out of Magic, hadn't played in years, wanted something to do at the con, it was great. You could just pick up a deck and go, God, I haven't played in 5 years, I haven't played in 10 years, haven't played in whatever. And sit down and play with some people, talk to them about it. It was good. Take it over to the open gaming, take it back to your hotel room. They had stacks and stacks and boxes of these. And they were answering lots of questions. And they were answering questions about the new Ultimate Masters, which is out tomorrow, which is the reason I will not be doing a Friday video. I'm doing it a day early. But Magic the Gathering, free boxes were there. Let's talk a little bit about a couple other things that I picked up. There was a dealer that had some markdowns, and I don't know if you can see this, but it was almost like a puzzle in here. Let me open this up. This was all in pieces. It is some sort of a nice little monster. I'm not sure what game that's from, but it was all a snap apart, and I was going to use that to kit bash. Some things when I do some modeling, and that was a whopping $1. I mean, if you look around, you got some really cool things there. Let's see what else we got here. And the same dealer in the middle had, and I think they were from New York or New Jersey. I do not remember the name. Same dealer had the Terminator Genesis miniatures. And while they had the price marked down to $3, they actually still were giving this out for $1. And what I liked about this mini itself is it has a 25 millimeter or 28 millimeter motorcycle on it. So I thought that motorcycle would be handy. Maybe it's a little too modern for like a World War II, but I thought maybe even dust, anything like that, I could play around. You know me and my bikes. I don't have a bike anymore, so it's fun to get them in with the. It's fun to get the bikes in with the Mini, since I don't ride anymore, or at least as much. The PAX book, of course, was free. Definitely great pictures in here. The program. So if you got a chance, and those run out fast. So if you get to a PAX and you do want a program, grab that right away. I know you hate to carry around paper, but it's definitely something that you should look into. Let's talk about Dust 1947. Now, I'll tell you what. Let me back up real quick. Critical Success makes rings, and I think you guys, if you've been to a convention, you've seen them. This is a D6 ring. So what you do with this ring is you put this on, and you can actually roll your dice, your D6, and they have all kinds. Here's another one here. Now this one is, my understanding is their most popular, and they come in black and gold and silver. This is a life counter ring, and this ring has, I mean, it's gold. I'm not sure if you guys can see the numbers on there or not, but if you play a Magic player or whatever, you can put this ring on. This ring is not for me, so it does not fit my finger. But you can put this ring on and keep track of your life counter. Very, very popular item. Very fashionable. So Critical Success, definitely a booth to go look at if you're at the convention. Now we'll go to Dust 1947. Spent a lot of time there. As you know, our gaming group is huge with Dust 1947. More people are getting involved. While I was at the convention, 3 of the tow group, Chris, Ian, and Blake, went to a local game store. You may know him as the Game Room. He actually is at places like Gen Con, Adepticon, Origins. He goes, he takes his store there. He's known as the Bits Guy. He's been around for years and years. His store takes up an entire block. Always things going on, but they had a Dust tournament. They had a charity tournament with several games. The boys went and played 10 entries for the tournament, and as per usual, we play for fun, so we were in 8th, 9th, and 10th place. Still congratulate them for going. They did good. They dropped off canned goods for the charity. It was an awesome event, they said. Dust 1947, Dust Studios released the Imperial Japanese. I have a box here. I cannot show you all of the boxes because some of these are Christmas presents for friends, family, and even maybe people I don't know. But they did release their Imperial Japanese starter sets, one of the extra squad units, and 2 of the mechs besides the starter set. I did get a chance. I played in their event on Friday and Saturday, and on Saturday night I had a chance to meet the Japanese, and I was playing against one of the tournament organizers. His name is Brian, great guy. And Brian, if you're watching this, I will say that weather in that game was terrible because we rolled for weather, and we had weather every turn, so my units were slowed down, and all I had to do was get a unit across the board. I was set at the end of turn 2 with 2 units that could make it. Rolled weather the 3rd time in a row. Got my little Nordwind to the edge of the board, and it died. Not only did I get hit with weather, but I got zapped for points, for damage every turn. So I can definitely roll some bad weather. So if they ever come out with a weather faction, I got to play it. Brian ran a great game on Saturday. It was great, but I got to play against these guys. They are tough. They're tough. They hit very, very hard. So Imperial Japanese, that was quite fun. The other things that were released is the Hellgate book, and if you look here at the title, nothing will be the same. They are correct. This is an amazing book. It's the stories in here are great. They've expanded on the PLA. They fleshed out the Thulu mythos, and they also have more with the allies, which they released, of course, the allies starter box too. But since the allies are my enemies, I don't really cover them. But again, they have more and more in this book. Those are some new units in there. I don't want to go through because I don't want to give away too much as a spoiler. This was a great read. I actually went through it twice. It was kind of fun. I still am looking at the units, even though about half of the new units in here are not in the app yet. There's some app that are not in the app from what I saw. So I would suggest picking this up if you're a Dust player. If you're new to Dust, this will flesh out some of your forces if you play allies. Mythos. So definitely a good pickup. This is that is a Operation Hellgate. It also came with some unit cards, and one of the things that they were, in my opinion, they were missing in the game is you paint some models up really nice and that, and then you turn around and you have to, if they get damaged, you have to leave them on the board, and sometimes you just carry smoke, and at the gaming groups we throw cotton on them, so they were not turning on its side and had break a barrel. They included these tiles, so they had these really nifty tiles for damage markers and smoke on this side. So definitely a good pickup. If you bought stuff at the booth, Alicia was giving out posters. Definitely two-sided, very nice posters. You can pick those up. So that was definitely a win. So Dust Studios. The games I played that night, they had no problem with using dustified units. So we were talking about 3D printing. I was able to 3D print up a Nord and use the turret, and I was able to 3D print up a AB-43. Kind of kit bashed the barrel because I still have some waiting from overseas to come. My kit. So that was kind of fun. Other thing I wanted to show you, this is the new Migos, the Migo Raiders, and they have the ray gun. And I got a chance to use these. Quite fun. I really like them. Definitely a good add to Assault Force. So the Migo Raiders, and this is the premium version. And stand is right here. I just haven't mounted them yet. But definitely quite fun there. Also with, let's see if I can pull up a couple other things. When I was at the tournament, I got lucky on Saturday night, and for prize support, I got myself a really nice Sky Sweeper. So guys in the club, watch out. That's going to be a captured cultist vehicle. It's waiting to happen. As a matter of fact, I've got a cultist squad here that I'm going to be breaking apart to use for that, and I 3D printed a nice cultist that's got some tentacles. Got to clean him up a little bit, and he's going to go in this vehicle. So we're going to kit bash that up. That'll be quite fun. Friday night, I picked up as prize support. I picked up a squad as a prize. These are the Steel Guard, Steel Tornadoes. So as part of my prize support on Friday night for the tournament, I was able to pick those up. So I thought I would show you that. Also, prize support. Let's see, Saturday night, another prize support for that. I got some decals. Definitely can use decals. My handshake's too bad to paint. Friday night, we got ourselves a nice patch, Luftwaffe patch. We've got a Luftwaffe player in our group, so I'm not going to keep that. I'm going to give that to him, but it's definitely the two-part patch where you can sew on the Velcro and then stick the patch right on there. So definitely a really nice one. This is the new map, and kind of a spoiler there, but that's what the new Dust map is going to look like after Operation Hellgate. Kind of give you an idea what's going on. And that came with the book also. So that was in the book along with those tiles, along with some unit cards in the book. So definitely a good thing. I think that kind of covers a few of the things. If you watch up Radio Free Zverograd, they're doing some updates and some unboxings for the Imperial Japanese. So rather than try to unbox anything there, just go visit Radio Free Zverograd. If you want some information on what's coming up with Hellgate, I would suggest listening to Dust War Journals. The Dust Vikings over there, they are my favorite. Radio Free Zverograd and Dust War Journals, definitely the two places to go for great information. Last at the convention that I picked up, and I just can't go through everything in the amount of time that we've got. This was a Kickstarter game. It's called Zephyr, and I picked this up. It's from Portal Dragon, and it's a heavy game, heavy. But the components are extreme quality in here. We're going to be going through that a little bit. It's just an awesome game. The company owner, of course, they had partners during the Kickstarter. It's doing it by himself now. He's been at a lot of the conventions. The game is fun to play. It's 1 to 5 players. Takes about 20 minutes per player. So if you're playing with, say, 3 players, might take about an hour. Add about 30 minutes onto that the first couple times you play. So we'll call it 30 minutes a player, when you get started. But once you get going, know all the rules. You get beautiful cardboard templates. Everything in this game is quality. I highly recommend looking at that. Zephyr from Portal Dragon. So we did pick that up. I'll close out with talking a little bit about the 3D printing, which we went over. 3D printing a lot of things. I've got these nice little paint holders for my paint. They're hexagon, so they can, see if I can get this off, so they can kind of sit together in boxes. You could mount them on the wall. A lot of things you can do with those. So 3D printing, you guys had asked me what more I'm doing. Of course, I'm doing more cultists. I'm using my standard cultist units, but I just hate breaking apart the cultists for my kit bashing all the time. So I wanted to 3D print some different poses up to go with my other cultists. And I thought that would look really nice. We're doing the BA-64 Scout Car. This Scout Car is part of one of the Dustified units. So we're doing the body up on that for the SSU units. Currently, overseas, they are out of the cultist car, the little 3-point car, Rolls Royce. So until they get those back in stock, I printed a couple 3D models up to use for my cultist car. Once they're back in stock, I will definitely honor my agreement. I'm going to buy them to support, buy a couple cars to support them. Also, 251 half tracks, usually use a model for the 251 half tracks. I've been 3D printing the body in 1/48 scale. I need about 3 of these for my gorillas. Nothing better than a 251 half track full of gorillas coming after you. So my Planet of the Apes army, we're going to have a few of these. I'm picking up the extra pieces from Dust to finish out the 251s. My understanding is they are going to release some more units to go with this. Just so you know, the resin version of the Avatar of Cthulhu is out overseas. I mean, in other words, it is released. They have it in stock. And it's a special edition, limited edition. It is Call of Cthulhu. It is $120. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same one that's released in plastic the end of March. I'm pretty sure. Not positive, pretty sure. And if anybody knows or has the exact information, definitely leave it below. But the resin version is out. It is unpainted, and it's $120. So if you're interested in getting ahead of the game on the Avatar of Cthulhu, comes with the stat card, 29-point model. Great model. Should be fun to paint. If you love to paint, this is going to be a great model to do. I will tell you that I couldn't resist, had to get one. And Dust Studios, don't worry, as soon as the other ones come out, I'll be at the local game store and get another one. You got to have more than one, just for the heck of it, just for the paint. So look overseas at the Palos site, and they have that. They also released, I believe, the AB43 turret kits. They finally have some more back in stock, so they have the AB43 turret kits were also released, so you can check those out. For more information on Dust, definitely follow Radio Free Zverograd, definitely follow Dust War Journals. They'll give you some great information. As always with Dust, you can contact Dust Studios online. The Mighty Greg will answer you. It's amazing. I think he lives on the internet. He has a virtual presence someplace. He answers in Facebook. He will answer you back in mail. They answer the questions if you call him on the phone. So if you have questions on Dust, definitely. If you need to get involved, best group of gaming guys I've seen across the states. I haven't played overseas yet, so but from talking to the tournament people overseas, it's just the same way. It's a great group of guys. So this video is going a little long. I'm going to cut it out by telling you guys that PAX Unplugged was a lot of fun. The companies that I talked about here, really great. I've got more companies to talk about. I know you guys want more videos on 3D printing. See, I'm 3D printing up the crates because I can't get my hands on enough of them. I'm making some stuff. We'll do some more on that. Crit Success with their rings, we're going to do a video with them coming up right after the first of the year. I also have a couple Asmodee games and some news coming up from Asmodee within the next month. So I look forward to talking to you guys again. Sorry I kind of had a rushed video. There's so much to go over. If you get a chance, take a look out there. There's news. Netflix again canceled Daredevil. Has nothing to do with Disney. Netflix just does not want to pay them any royalties because Disney's becoming a competing service next year. So I'm sure we will see new iterations of Daredevil as well as Luke Cage, possibly Iron Fist, when Disney has their channel at some, started next year at some point. But again, look up the news. You can find it online. Netflix did cancel the Daredevil as well as the others, and I see cancellations coming after the seasons of Jessica Jones also. So I kind of predict that. With that, guys, it's been great. Sorry the video went a little long. It's probably my longest video ever. I look forward to talking to you guys again. I will try to get another video in this weekend. We have game day on Saturday. I have a game event tomorrow night. And Sunday, with any luck, I might try to spend an hour to get another game of Dust in so I can learn more. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys across the table. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on there. That really helps us get the word out. And with that, I will see you across the table.